Hi there. Today I want to talk to you about the top 5 benefits of meditation. 5 things, at least 5 things that I have learned from my own practice of meditation from over 10 years. The first thing that I noticed about myself was I stopped reacting and then I started to respond. Now, what do I mean by that? Um, we are always reacting or responding with our environment, the people around us. And through practicing meditation, what I noticed was that I was getting less angry, less triggered. And because of there is scientific proof, there's science behind this, where when you practice meditation, your prefrontal cortex thickens, and this is where the thinking brain works. This is where all your thinking happens. So most people aren't doing much thinking. Thoughts are happening to them. So you actually, when you meditate, you actually are increasing your ability to think and think a little deeper, think a little further than most people. When you put thought into things and then you don't react as much. So that's what was happening. I was getting angry a lot. And then I noticed, wait, do I have to respond in a way that I have seen, even though it was wrong, even though that has been the um, entire my entire childhood, if you will. If that's what I've seen my entire childhood, that my parent is reacting and angry and there's absolute rage, do I always have to go back to that? Do I have to continue what is not okay by any means? So I decided to become the adult who has better control over her emotions and how she is expressing herself. And I started to respond to my immediate environment a little bit more calmly. And this has helped me improve my relationships a lot. The second thing that I noticed about meditation was that it made me a better listener. Now, what is happening through meditation is that you're spending quiet time with yourself. And our minds are noisy places. And through meditation, through focusing on your breath, if you're meditating properly, oftentimes you will be focusing on your breath, on your breathing, and just by observing your breath, what happens is that your breathing slows down. And the moment your breathing slows down, your thoughts slow down. The pace at which thoughts are occurring to you, that slows way down. So it's like the chatter, constant chatter that is going on, it kind of fades away. And so during meditation, what you're doing is refocusing on yourself and your breath. Your mind, it is your mind's job to give you ideas and keep you distracted, but it is when you are coming back and remembering to come back over and over that you are building this mindfulness muscle. And so that when that strengthens, it allows you to become comfortable sitting by yourself in absolute quiet. And believe me, this takes about 20 minutes to go into that meditative state. And it's very expansive, beautiful state. I would highly recommend you to practice meditation to experience it for yourself. I don't want, because each person is going to experience it themselves. So go ahead and try it. I have a meditation that I have created. It's called the Forest Meditation. I'll drop the link in the description for you if you want to download that. So it has made me a better listener. So I was sitting with myself, and I was getting the mind to be quiet, of course. And then I brought up some memories. Okay. I was consciously exposing myself to whatever happened in my childhood, in order to heal that inner child and give my inner child what it did not get when I was supposed to have gotten from my parent. And giving that to myself was really, really, really healing and really supportive. And so when I kept bringing up those memories, I was listening very deeply to myself. And then all the voices that were coming up in my head, you're not good enough, you won't make anything of yourself, were these my words. I start to think, and so I'm listening for words, and then I'm questioning them. Are they coming from me, or are they somebody else's words that I am repeating to myself over and over? And by doing this, you become so acutely aware of, oh, I'm hearing some voices. Whose voices are they? So you become very, very tuned to the voices in your head, and then you can question. So I was questioning, wait, who said this to me? And why am I talking to myself like this? So so especially we have a lot of negative self-talk going on. Uh, Everyone has that. And it's when you become self-aware of where those voices are coming from, that deepens your ability to listen to yourself. Okay, so when you say, okay, if this is not true, you start to question through your meditation, through listening to yourself, when you start to question where is that coming from, and you can also ask, do I have to let this continue on? And if not, then what would I say to myself? And then you start repeating that better language, better beliefs to yourself that your inner child needs to hear to believe in itself, in himself or herself. All right. So it has, over time, through practicing meditation, I have become a very good listener, and not just listening to the voices in the head. I'm also listening to what is going on inside my body. So taking notice of what it was making me feel during the meditations, like some thoughts that come up and what those caused inside of me. It was constriction of the spirit. And so it's you can actually feel that. I was feeling that inside different parts of my body. I was feeling it in my heart, I was feeling it in my guts, and all of those different emotions, very difficult, painful emotions. So I became very, very, very good at listening to what those sensations were communicating to me. And not just that, not just a better listener of the mind, the body, but also the body language, my own, and also that of others, what they're trying to communicate, because body language has a much, much, much bigger percentage than spoken words. So you just start to observe those things, and then you become much, much better at listening to yourself. And so oftentimes people can easily lie to themselves. It's a defense mechanism, because it just helps you feel better in that moment and say, okay, I don't want to pay attention to that. So but then in the process of doing that very quick resolve, what happens is that you create just a barrier between your authentic self, and you can't be your authentic self if you're doing that. So you want to make sure that you practice, when you're practicing meditation, you bring up those memories and you focus on healing those memories, and listen deeply what your body is going to say to you, communicate to you. When you do that, I promise you, you will understand, you will get so many insights about yourself. You will be amazed at it. Sorry about the voice going on and the noise is outside my window. Someone just started some. Oh, good, it stopped. All right, so because number 3, let me come to point number 3. So because I have been able to process the multiple painful emotions, what I have been able to do is heal myself. I have cultivated the ability to process extremely painful emotions such as rejection, insult, uh, not believing in myself and being told things nobody should ever say to their child. It's so painful. um, and as a child you don't have any control, so lack of control, uh, and because of not having control, then what people want to do is control other people. So noticing that I'm trying to control someone because I'm feeling powerless. So because practicing meditation and cultivating the ability to process the painful emotions, I was, as I was speaking to my inner child, I was empowering myself. And so when you are this empowered self, you do not have the need to control others. You're then just the provider of information, and you can do that from a detached perspective. Because when you're meditating, you're also doing that. You're just watching the movie that is playing in your head. It's like your mind is projecting something, and then you're watching it just flow like a movie. And then you're trying to make sense of things and how you would react versus respond in the future. So this makes you a better person in the long run. And it takes a while to get to that place. So keeping that habit consistent is important. Now, what number 4? Uh, my speech has way less unnecessary sounds and fillers. I haven't meditated consistently in a while, so I'm noticing my ums and ahs. But overall, my speeches has some clarity in what I'm trying to communicate. So that is very good when it comes to public speaking. I have gotten awards in my own Toastmaster club for being the person with 0 ums and ahs, because I am clear about what I want to say without extra sounds and ums and using fillers. Fillers are just, I'm using that time to express. I'm using that time to think while I fill up the sound, fill up because I'm not comfortable with silence. And so I fill up the room, if you will, with extra sounds. And my speech is not communicating more precisely. When you want your speech to communicate precisely what you want, having the ability to think your thoughts through before you say something, that's what my meditation practice has helped me with very deeply. The 5th thing is that my awareness of things has increased, and so have my insights. Like on a pretty consistent basis, I get insights from simply being with myself and observing myself. For example, I prioritize my peace now because that is more important to me than winning an argument. A lot of times people are waiting to just pounce on someone, and let that be anyone, especially when it comes to social media. And I often say social media uh, allows you the ability to to talk to anyone you want, but just because you have that luxury, you have that gift, if you will, does it mean that you have to go and fight with anyone, any stranger you have never met, never seen, never known? Do you do that with a friend of yours? You wouldn't do that. So you just have to be more considerate. So now I choose very, very carefully what I want to be exposed to in terms of what I'm watching on social media and whether I wish to engage with someone or not. Now, someone uh, told me very insulting words, and that person was intoxicated with alcohol when this thing happened. Now, others were also drinking, but then he got angry and just lashed out at me because I was not willing to do what he wanted to do, and he wanted everyone to do that. And because that was not okay by me, um, he lashed out at me. And then I was just listening to him, and I chose to not say anything and just be calm, because it is no point arguing with someone who has already made up their mind, and it's no point talking to someone who is under the influence of alcohol and they're intoxicated. They don't know what they're saying. They're completely being controlled by alcohol in that point in time, and it's useless to talk to that person. I do not necessarily need to fall to that level to say what I want to say. Okay, that person never apologized to me. This happened for real, and that person never apologized to me. And you can choose to. I choose to not engage with them anymore. Um, and it's a choice you have to make, and you make conscious choices because of these little things that you start to become aware of. So these were the 5 things that I got, the 5 benefits I got from meditation. I stopped reacting and started responding, and it made me a better listener, not just to the head but also to my body, my heart, everything, and other people as well, because I've been able to be present with myself. I can be present with other people. Number 3, I have healed because of cultivating the ability to process very painful emotions. I have healed myself from narcissistic abuse from childhood. Number 4, my speech is way less uh, my speech has way less fillers and unnecessary sounds. And number 5 is that my awareness of things has increased, which has also increased the insights I receive on a regular basis. And those insights tell me how I can improve my behavior toward the people that are close to me in my life. Thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate your being here. If you have any thoughts and questions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and go grab my meditation if you feel that this particular video resonates with you. Talk to you soon.